Hey, Dominic, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for taking time to join in and share with us here on the AvaCloud recording. We are so excited about the upcoming MapleStory Universe launch and everything that entails, and excited to have a conversation with you about it today. So, would love to pass it to you to give a quick intro if you can. That'd be great.
Sure. Oh, and I'm also very glad to be here with you, Perry, and and AvaCloud. My name is Dominic Zhang. I am Chief Business Officer and Vice President for MapleStory Universe, as well as Space Limited, which is a blockchain arm based in Abu Dhabi, UAE, under Nexon's umbrella. Um, I mainly drive business initiatives for MapleStory Universe as well as Space Limited, meaning I not only look after the business elements of the project itself, but also other initiatives driven by the Next Space. Sub mostly related to MapleStory Universe, but not necessarily completely related to MapleStory University. Here I am.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for taking time. Excited to dive in a little bit about everything that you guys have going on. Sounds like you're busy in a good way, so that's great. But would love to get started with kind of the big picture here and help give people just an overview of what you guys are doing. So, what is MapleStory Universe, and really what inspired you guys to move towards integrating Web3 technologies?
Right. So I think the best way is to start with a less known background on how Nexon, our parent company, started this project. It was never about blockchain or Web3 at first at all. As an inventor of the free-to-play business model, as well as live operations business model, 20 years ago, Nexon knew better than anyone that this very business model has limitations. Every update had to, recoup the ever-growing development budget, and in order to stay profitable, the game studio had to keep selling the new items. As a result, causing power inflation, especially in the MMORPG economy. New contents have to be all specs that are concurrable only with the newly purchased items in order to stimulate sales of newer and more powerful items. So every new contents typically include like new dungeons, new bosses, and they are becoming almost impossible to beat with the existing items in order to stimulate the sales. So this very structure now incentivizes the game companies to print out new items to boost the revenue, but at the same time, causing limitless inflation in power. If not done carefully enough, resulting in the collapse of the entire game economy. So with this background, now we have realized that there should be a new way for users to constantly enjoy the contents without creating such a bubble in power, and thus in revenue without risking the life of an IP. Like while exploring various ideas to complete this as a project, some of the questions we've asked ourselves were, how can users find new contents, to keep themselves entertained? What are the core fun factors of MapleStory that made users, keep playing for such a long time and made MapleStory IP more valuable? What will the future of entertainment look like, and what is the right business model to cope with the changing preference of the users or taste of the user? And our answers, most answers to those questions were, mostly centered around three things: player ownership, user-driven economy, and scalability. So to be more specific, we concluded that we had to create a world where players actually own the economy, freely trade, and autonomously scales. So this fundamental assumption to achieve such universe was to create a strong value, a accrual asset that backs and powers the entire economy. And this is where our very unique tokenomics kicks in. Yeah, so these are the core things that drive the MapleStory universe, and this is how we have how we have grown so far as a project.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you for that answer and the backstory on it as a whole. It's encouraging to see the vision that you guys had as a company come to life and really being able to incentivize and add value, not in a temporary way. It very much was to guarantee the long term success of what you're doing. And so I think that's really exciting for us on the Avalanche and AvaCloud side as well, is that there are companies and there are institutions and enterprises and folks like yourselves at MapleStory Universe that are thinking about that value accrual in that longer term sense for your audience and for those that use your games or your product or whatever you're building. And yeah, it's exciting to see it make the switch and kind of come into our world on the Web3 side as well, which leads me to the fact MapleStory Universe has been around, for a long time. You have a legacy franchise that's been extremely successful with a large and massive player base. What were some of the, key technical or even challenges in bringing that to the Web3 world? And I know that you guys have done your due diligence and continue to do so, especially looking at other blockchain platforms as well. So what led you to Avalanche and then, working with AvaCloud to deploy and take MapleStory Universe into the Web3 realm?
So I guess the biggest technical challenge was making Web3 work seamlessly inside a massive Web2 infrastructure. We've got hundreds of millions of players already, so performance and UX had to be top notch. Like philosophically, it was about giving players ownership and creative freedom in a way that felt natural. That meant rethinking some of the game design from the ground up. So on the bottom line, many Web3 games are struggling, because they focus too much on the economy and not enough on the actual gameplay experience or even simple UI. But no one wants a game that feels like work. We really have to revisit the very much concept of a fundamental thinking that, we are building an entertainment, not a workplace, not another workplace. So there's still skepticism around blockchain gaming, but we are here to prove that Web3 games can be fun, engaging, and not just about speculations or trading.
Yeah, that's amazing. Again, like just the fact that you foreshadowed this and are willing to explore it for your players, I think really puts them first. And that's very, very exciting to see. Yeah. So can you walk us through a little bit about how AvaCloud kind of enabled this hybrid on-chain, off-chain architecture that's used in MapleStory Universe, and just share a little bit more about that Web3 integration? I know you shared already that it was important to make sure that it's seamless for your users and players, that when they experience this, it's not this new learning curve or something that maybe is
Yes.
just different. But could you just walk us through that on the architecture side a little bit?
Sure. So we chose AvaCloud because it offered exactly what we needed: scale, speed, and simplicity, all in one package. After looking at different options, AvaCloud stood out for its enterprise level reliability and developer friendly usable compared to MapleStory Universe. That meant we could store important assets and logic data on chain while floating gameplay to off-chain systems. That helps us keep the performance smooth while still enabling Web3 benefits like ownership and transparency. Another factor, another big plus, was that AvaCloud handled a lot of blockchain complexity for us. That freed us, freed up our team resource to focus on what we really do best, which is building gameplay and user experience or engaging with the community. So their architecture, also gave us the flexibility to plug in advanced systems like Bloxy approved controller without compromise. So we could design the experience we wanted without, being boxed in by the technology itself.
That was a great answer. Thank you. I love it. Could you share a little bit more? So I know that MapleStory Universe, your dedication to providing just excellent user experience, UX design. You also have very robust development procedures. And how did AvaCloud support your kind of multi environment development pipeline across your dev, test, QA, and staging environments? Could you share just a little bit on that?
Right. So in Web 2 game development, especially at our scale, we heavily rely on multiple, dedicated environments like dev, test, QA, staging, to keep everything smooth and predictable. Many platforms suggested just tweaking a single chain or removing gas entirely, but that often introduced unexpected stability issues. So what we needed was a way to mirror real deployment environments while keeping things modular. So AvaCloud made that very possible. We were able to sign up lightweight, dedicated test networks for each environment, without extra overhead or engineering lift. So their automated chain setup let us run meaningful QA without drifting from what we'd launch live. On top of that, AvaCloud gave us the reliability, scalability, and deployment speed we needed to stay agile throughout development. It let us work like we do in Web 2, but with all the benefits of Web 3 built on top of it.
So diving in a little bit more specific to Avalanche and your layer one, what how did you guys envision, or what were the benefits of having a dedicated Avalanche L1 tailored for your specific game mechanics? I know you've highlighted this a little bit, but just wanted to see if there was anything else that you thought maybe would have stood out.
Yeah. Running our own dedicated Avalanche L1 through AvaCloud gave us the freedom to build exactly what we needed. With over 250 million users globally, scalability was critical. And AvaCloud helped us deliver stable, high-performance gameplay, even with massive transaction volumes. It also let us customize key systems like meta transactions, randomness, and approval logic, and all tailored to MapleStory's gameplay. So the setup is reliable, energy efficient, and ready to scale with us as we grow. It felt more like operating cloud infrastructure than a typical blockchain setup. It was easier for our internal teams to adopt and scale with confidence.
Awesome. And, do you have any specific, Web3 features that players are really excited about, or that you guys are specifically excited about? I know you touched on a little bit on the VRF and the meta transactions, but is there anything else? And I guess that kind of leads into the other question, which is what feedback have you kind of received from the community so far regarding these blockchain enabled features? I'm sure this is new for them too. So it'd be great to hear what they have to say.
So the biggest one should be ownership. So players own their characters, items, and gears on chain, and they can trade them, sell them, or bring them into future games. So there's also a player-to-player marketplace that replaces gray markets with transparent and peer-to-peer trading, and as well as tools for community content creation and monetization. What's really exciting is how this sets the stage for something much bigger with the same ecosystem that opens the door to player identities, assets, and stories moving freely across different games. Almost like building the foundation for a Ready Player One style universe. So it's more than just a game. It's the beginning of a connected entertainment world where players are part of the story and the economy across everything they engage with. So we provide the rules, we provide the tools, and then what is created beyond is the core assets that we've created thanks to the blockchain technologies. And we let the community members express their creativity to make the ecosystem even more fruitful and fun more than anything.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I think it's revolutionizing the experience for players, uh, not only within your game, but I think it's shedding light on like the future of where gaming goes as a whole. That uh, ownership is going to be probably top priority, which you're already demonstrating, but also that the gameplay itself can become much more interactive and comprehensive as we start to dream up these new possibilities with the tech stack and going from Web 2 to Web 3. So I think it would be really great to hear, and I know we're kind of rounding out here towards the end, but what is next for MapleStory Universe and your Web3 journey? Or do you have any exciting things that you can share or talk about? Or this would be a great opportunity to share some updates about where MapleStory Universe is at right now and where it's going maybe here in the next couple of weeks too. But would love to just give you the stage to set the storyline straight for everybody on where you guys are heading.
Yeah. So in the near term, we are focused on refining the in-game economy and UX within MapleStory N, which is the first game that we are launching in our ecosystem on our L1, Genesis L1. And beyond that, we are rolling out more synergy apps that allow even non-gamers to participate in the ecosystem. At the same time, we are actively developing tools that allow players or developers to create and monetize their own contents. These will form the next phase of our evolution. Looking a bit further ahead, we envision connecting different IPs, shared identity, and asset systems across games, all supported by next space protocol for seamless interoperability. So step by step, we are moving from just a game to a platform where users are really in the driver's seat.
That gets me fired up about everything you guys are doing, which is I already was excited, but even more so now. So amazing. I want to thank you and your team so much for taking some time to connect and talk more today about MapleStory Universe, all your upcoming developments and launches. We're really excited on both the Avalanche and the AvaCloud side to help support what you guys are doing. We're looking forward to seeing all of the amazing developments come to life, your players getting to experience that in-game ownership, as well as all of the other amazing things that you're doing as you revolutionize gaming. So thank you so much for taking time to connect today. And where can people find you guys on social media?
Right. So we are very active on X, Twitter. You can follow our official account, MapleStory U. That's our official account. You can also follow me via Domidom88, DOMIDOM88, for more, I guess, user-friendly community. Yeah, so there will be all the other sources and new informations updates on Twitter. Also, you can join our Discord, which you can also find through our Twitter account. Yeah, so follow us, interact, engage with us on social. We are friendly. We are not going to eat you. We answer all the questions. We try to answer all the questions, and we are very engaging community. So come join us. And lastly, thank you very much for having me on the stage. Yeah.
Of course, of course. We're so grateful. Looking forward to all the amazing developments. Make sure you follow along at AvaCloud and at MapleStory U, and we will catch you next time.